Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, my name is Lesego Rankou, and on this channel is all about learning, growth and contribution. Guess what we're doing today? Guess what we are doing today? Listen, I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but I might just be a big deal. I am kidding. So I have been invited to be on a local magazine. It's called Scattered News. Guys, it is doing phenomenal things. If you have Instagram, please go check them out. They're called Scattered News, and they basically cover everything culture related, and they wanted to cover my story on being a CA SA, which was a bit strange for me, to be honest. And you know why? Because I was like, I don't think my story is that deep, but I know it is that deep, right? And I don't know if I knew that people would actually see it for what it was or appreciate the depth of it. And to have been sitting in my office space, I remember when I received the email and I got it, I was like a bit confused. I actually thought it was a scam. Like, South Africa is actually such a strange place because every good thing that happens now, you think twice before you engage. So I read the email, I ignored it. And the next day I was like, you know what, let me just do my research and check them out. And it actually exists. So I was like, okay, let me entertain the emails. And it was like developing. And before you know it, there's a questionnaire. They're asking me questions about my career, and you could tell that this person actually did research on me specifically because they were asking me questions that were related to my journey and like, how does it feel being a mom, as well as a CA? How did you start learning, growth and contribution? What was your journey into becoming a CA? If you can just explain it to someone. So you could tell that this person actually has done their work on me, which I found to be something that I haven't done for myself in a long time. You sometimes get to a point or place in your life where you start taking for granted your own journey, and you forget that it took a great amount of effort to get to where I am mentally, spiritually, physically. And to have it expressed out and live through it, you kind of put it at the back of your mind and you don't see the goodness of God. So for me, it was such a good time for me to reflect on his mercies and also see where he has carried me, because I realized everything that I have done, it is not by my strength, it is by God's grace, and he has equipped me in a way that I didn't think was imaginable. You know, I think when I had fallen pregnant, I had literally written myself off of corporate. I just thought that I could not be in the presence of people that were within record time, that were doing great, that had vision, that knew they wanted to come to CASA, that knew like after the designation, this is what I'm doing, you know. That was not my story. Unfortunately, I did not enter this journey with the utmost certainty that I'm going to qualify, and then after qualifying, the world is going to be so unprepared for the depth of who I am, you know. I did not have that. So to have eventually gone through it, even without having that fact or that certainty in where it was going to lead me to, I can only attest to the goodness of God. So right now I'm about to get ready for that photo shoot. It is going to happen in the next 2 or 3 hours. So I wanted to get ready because I haven't even decided on an outfit. I was trusting God to do the works there. My closet, it has clothes. I'll find it somewhere there. I was never going to spend money because I do have a tendency of over shopping. So I was like, no, let me scavenge through what's going on in there. And then I went to go buy a few items that I need for my makeup. But I thought while I get ready, I'm going to explain to you my journey. For those of you that are new to my channel that don't know who I am, my name is Lesego Rankou. I am a CASA of Psycha. You know, I am a qualified chartered accountant, and that just means that I've worked very hard for 4 letters for a big chunk of my academic life, you know, and it hasn't been smooth sailing for me. I studied at Monash University. After studying at Monash University, I was living my best life, my best university life. And after the fact, I went through my CTA year, and it was not like the best time for me, to be honest with you. I feel like my CTA year was a year that really changed the way I view myself, how I viewed the world, because things at home weren't great. From a personal stance, there were a lot of home situations that were taking a toll on me academically, and I couldn't sift through my emotional well-being at that time. And I don't think I've spoken about this publicly, but I think I was very like on the edge of like borderline suicidal because of the fact that like I couldn't deal with the emotional weight of what was happening in 2017, you know. And I feel like to go into depth is not my story to tell, because even though it concerned me, it wasn't all about me. So just know that it was enough to make me want to not live. It made me not to want to be a part of this world, because I couldn't imagine an alternative reality to what I was actually experiencing. So I told myself, you know what? Whatever happens at the end of the year, I'll accept it for what it is. And guys, I've always been an academic. I wasn't anticipating on failing. Like, that was not my story, you know. But it happened at the end of the year. And that changed the trajectory of my life in its entirety, because I couldn't imagine an alternative reality of me not like passing or like coming back from failure. Like, I've always heard people fail and like they change their lives, and they made it seem like it's possible, you know, to come back. And I was like, no, it's not. Like, or failure, like, how can you come back from failure, you know? That was the logic and the narrative that I also faced, being somebody that was always so rooted in my academics, you know. In as much as I wanted to believe that to be true, I actually didn't. And so I told myself, okay, Sharp, my life is over. And then guess what? I found out that I'm pregnant. Yo, guys, the shame. If I could measure shame, if I could measure it now, think of Mount Everest on your shoulders. Kure, it's even unimaginable to express the amount of shame that I felt, because number one, I am such an academic. I'm a tutor. I feel like I'm always the one that was counseling people, the one that was going to church, the one that was trying to like preach the gospel to my friends. But somehow I ended up unmarried, pregnant, and having failed. Yo, that was a lot to consume in 1 year, you know. Not even in 1 year, because it all unfolded in a space of a month. And I had told myself that, Lesego, you are like the ultimate failure of life. Like, you have ruined your whole life, and there's just no coming back from this. And I don't know how you're going to face the rest of the world. I don't know how you're going to face your parents. I don't know how you're going to face your friends, because you're a scam. You're absolutely a liar. You're a deceiver. You deceived yourself. And most of all, you deceived everybody around you. You deceived your lecturers. I'm not crying. You deceived your lecturers. You deceived the world. You deceived God. Yo, you deceived God. You going to church. He's telling you no sex before marriage. And here you are, deceiver. Oh my gosh, the amount of shame, I can't even imagine it. But that was my life for 2017. It was a very dark period of my life. And that's why for me to have ended my life felt like such a plausible thing, because I'm like, what is the point of you living? You know? And now you're going to introduce motherhood. What do you know about being a mother? You know, I didn't grow up with my parents. My parents used to, one used to stay in the Free State. My mom used to stay in the Free State. My dad stayed in Gauteng at Glenharvie, and they used to come see me every weekend, and I stayed with my grandmother. So a big part of my childhood believed that I actually was lacking a fundamental parent upbringing, and so I did not know what it meant to be a mother. So that was another thing that was weighing on me, that like, you are going to become something that you know have no business being, or knowing the depth of what it's going to take. And that year I decided not to go back to school. I didn't have hope. I was actually living in a state of hopelessness. And I remember every day felt so heavy. Every day felt so long. For a full year of my belly growing, my body changing, it just felt like, God, like, what is happening, you know? And I couldn't process everything that was happening. And I was just living in a state of hopelessness. Point blank, period. That's where I was. And let me tell you something about the enemy. The enemy wants to keep you in shame as long as possible. He wants you to sit in it, to doubt your power, to doubt yourself, to doubt your identity, to question God. And we see this in the garden, right? I preached about in the beginning what happened and how we fell into sin and what was happening. But to actually sit in the revelation of that while it was unfolding, I could not shake away the shame that was like bearing such weight on me. And you know what? I can't even tell you the exact moment when that shame started like leaving me. But I just remember that waking up every morning and doing the bare minimum, guys. I mean the bare minimum. Getting myself ready, taking a bath, making myself something to eat, drinking water, going to the gym, doing the small things. While in my mind, remember, I'm under the impression, or my biggest thing was, oh my gosh, my peers are getting ahead of me and they are probably going to class. So every day I'm sifting through that deception and trying to make it seem as if like I'm so complacent with where my life is right now, right then, telling myself that like, you know what, all I need to do is just do the bare minimum. And eventually Zoe was born. And when Zoe was born, I think life as I knew it changed completely. Like life through a mother's eyes is not the same. Like it's impossible to say who I am today and who I was before Zoe is the same, because I completely changed. Like you completely move from this self-centered way of thinking and this shame that was weighing on me started shifting from, I need capacity to love this child. I need capacity to not tell myself that I am incapable because I need to change a diaper. I need to bath this child. I need to dress her. I need to feed her, And slowly but surely the narrative changed. And this is a testimony for if you are experiencing failure, that it might feel like your life is over. It might feel like there is no amount of words or peace that I can offer you that is going to make it feel better, because it doesn't. It's just like one of those things where you have to like ride the emotions and let them flow through you and out of you, but you cannot keep them within you, if that makes sense, And that's the place that I was at. I knew I needed capacity to love my daughter, and so shame does not have the capacity to stay within me. And I'm saying it now as if like I knew that at a language level. I knew that at a spiritual level. I couldn't express that's what I was going through. But now that I can, I'm wiser. I can see that was me reclaiming back my identity and letting myself know that I can still achieve even though I have this child. I never forget, my mom told me one thing, and I think that's the one thing that allowed me to register with UNISA. She told me, Lesego, pregnancy is not a disability. You can still move, And I don't know what about that line was so impactful. But I think it was because I couldn't see past me doing anything while having a child. I've had many of my cousins have children and their lives were never the same. And I felt that their lives were harder because of that they had a child. And that's what I thought my life would be, I thought it would be much harder. I couldn't have my own personal goals. My life is supposed to revolve around me feeding and nurturing this child. And so when my mom said that, it landed so deeply within me, because that's the word that I needed in that season. I just needed somebody to reaffirm me, to reassure me that I was going to be fine and that my life was not over. And I remember after that conversation, I asked my dad to re-enroll me at school. And I told him I'll make it worth it. I remember he has always saved money for me. And I told him, can he please use that money that he saved for me to pay for my school fees, because I have to go back to school. And at that point in time, I didn't actually think about how difficult it would be with the child. I just knew that my mom's word gave me momentum, and I was going to ride that momentum while I still figure myself out. And that's what I did. I went back to school, and it was one of the most difficult years of my life. But here we are. So anyway, long story short, I passed CTA. Yay, I'm a CA. We know how the story ends. Okay. I'm trying to do my eyeliner. Give me a sec. I just want to sit in that moment of how do you overcome failure, because I think for this video to be useful, I just didn't want to tell my story without giving you the tools to overcome failure. But always do what you can. I think when you are going through those moments where you feel useless and you feel like failure is so heavy and it feels heavy, you need to take off the load a little bit. And the best way to take off the load is to actually do something about it, is to actually do even the bare minimum. And don't talk yourself out of just doing even the bare minimum, because this is how getting into agreement with depression or with failure leads to suicidal thoughts. I don't think I was ever in a position where I thought my life doesn't make sense. But because I sat in the depression and in those feelings of shame for such a long time, that became an option, right? Not because at core, I don't feel like I have life left within me. It's because I was in agreement with that season for such a long time that I had to move out of that space. If you think about where you position yourself, if you stay within failure, the more you stay there, the further away the light seems, the further away possibilities seem, the further away your future feels, and you stay within this darkness. And so you need to move towards the light, right? Nobody is going to drag you there because you mentally allowed yourself to get there. So you mentally have to get yourself out of there. So you have to do it within stages. It's not going to be like one day you're going to wake up and you're like, I'm happy, the failure's done. No. You actively have to be a participant in your healing. And every day I showed up for myself. And even though it was very, very small things in my mind, because it's not like I was getting results for a test, I wasn't getting results for, yay, you fed Zoe. I wasn't getting a 80% for diaper changing, 60% for breastfeeding on time. There was no instant results that was going to affirm that what I was doing was actually for my good. I had to just be complacent and comfortable that what I was doing was actually enough. And yeah, that's what I wanted to leave you with. I feel like my spirit wanted to just interject there for a second. But anyway, I'm contouring my nose. I don't know if it's coming out right, guys. The way I did my makeup is just very unconventional. I'm not like a makeup artist or anything like that. However, I do feel I can better myself, And so, yeah, I started working at a Big Four. And when I started working at the Big Four, guys, I was so happy. I was so happy to finally see people and be with people, because I've been studying through UNISA. And remember, I was studying by myself, UNISA is self-study. And if you don't have the discipline to get yourself to work, nobody's going to come to you and check that you're working. And you don't have conversations with people. I was limited to the Facebook groups that I told you guys about in one of my videos. If you haven't watched it, I'm going to link it up here. But I basically did not have the presence of people. So to finally be with people, that was the most exciting thing for me to experience. And I think for other people, they were more nervous about corporate and like how they're going to perform and how they show up. I was just honored to be with people, you know? And so that just made my journey that much nicer and lovelier, because everything was a delight. Everything to me, I was grateful for even driving in traffic, because I was always in the house. You know, I was grateful for the little things. I was grateful for getting work, for having work delegated to me. You know, I was that girl that was like a bit annoying to other people, it might seem. But this is my source of why I was so motivated. I was just so happy that somebody was actually giving me things to do, and I was getting instruction from someone in real life. Hey, Lesego. Wow. But anyway, my stunt at the Big Four was actually one of the best times of my life. I don't even want to sugarcoat it. In as much as I don't work there anymore, I cannot sit here and lie and tell you that that was not one of the best times that I've experienced, because I met my best friend there, who was my maid of honor. Nombilelo, I love you. I met other close friends. I also experienced a lot of trauma while I was there, you know. I experienced the trauma of the past, and I experienced a trauma that happened there, you know, and it changed the way I viewed people in general. I had a distrust of people's agendas. I had a distrust of leadership. I had a distrust of kindness within a workspace, you know, and that's why I'm so passionate about spreading good word on my LinkedIn, because of my experiences and not wanting people to go through what I went through, or even see what I saw people go through. You know, that's another thing, that the trauma that people don't talk about is that people assume that I had a very bad time while I was doing my articles. I saw my friends have very difficult times, and it was hard to be within that space and not be able to do anything about it. You know, being young and being so outspoken and being so lively and wanting so much justice for my friends, and knowing that I can't do anything about it. Guys, it hurt my spirit, you know, and I just became hopeless about corporate in general. I just became hopeless about my future within corporate in general. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life yet again, you know, different moment, same devil, shame, hopelessness, you know, it just keeps reoccurring, but in different forms. And I wanted to become a mommy, and I wanted to do mommy things. However, I didn't have the capacity to do mommy things because I was always busy at work. And emotionally, I didn't have the capacity to be a mommy to Zoe, because I just always believed that I was insufficient to be her mom, because I didn't have my mom's presence within me all the time. And you need to understand, my mom is an amazing mom. My mom is one of the best people you'll ever meet in your life. If you know my mom and you're watching this, you know that lady is a boss queen. Like, she's everything. She's a rock. She is... God has blessed me with the best mom, guys. But my view of her lack of presence within me shifted this mother-daughter relationship that I had, and now I have with my child, because I just thought my presence is not enough for her. But that is my healing journey that I'm going through, you know. But I just wanted to share that light on you and tell you that I'm almost done with my makeup. I'm almost done. I'm gonna leave soon. I still have to choose an outfit, but I can talk forever about failure and the depth of the revelations that God has given me. And this is a new version of sharing the Bible series, because I'm struggling to just sit down and be at my centered place, because my life is actually moving at a pace that is God ordained and not Lesego ordained. And sometimes it scares me. A lot of times it scares me, honestly. A lot of times it scares me, because I feel so small for what he's called me to do, but not understanding that he is enough to fill the spaces where I am small. Like, in my weaknesses, he's actually my strength. I know that revelation. I understand it. I know what that means, you know. To have to live it out is something completely different. And I just hope and pray that as you hear my story, as you get to be a part of my story by me sharing my story, because it's not that I have to do this, it's because I want to do this, because I know that people look outwards for validation, for approval, for somebody to actually give them hope that things actually do turn out for the better. And I'm here to be a testimony and to express the goodness of God through my life by inviting you to see how God moves in your obedience, God moves in your faithfulness. Even that small hope that you have, you need to start activating and allowing good seed to fall on you. Allowing words of family members. My mom, if it wasn't for her words, if it wasn't for Lesego, pregnancy is not a disability, I don't think I'd be here. I don't think I'd be recording this. I don't think I'd be in my apartment. I don't think I'd be married. I don't think I'd actually have gone to a Big 4 firm. I don't think I'd be working where I'm working right now. But God is just that good. He won't leave you dry. He won't leave you hanging. And you need to believe that. I can't just tell you that. You need to believe that and live through it. So yeah, I'm going to finish my makeup. I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to look. And I'm going to show you guys where I'm going. I'm so excited to see it. I don't know what it has in store for me. Honestly, I'm just going there with an open spirit and an open mind, ready to receive the goodness of God, because this was actually something on my vision board. I posted something about going to a vision board picnic, and guys, the testimony in there, one day I'm going to share about the visions that we were able to manifest, and this is one of them. I actually put a picture of me, not of me, of someone else, like behind the camera doing like photo shoots and like talking about her story. And now that I get to live what I saw on my vision board, just reaffirms and validates that God was with us in that garden. And so I'm excited to share that. But I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully when you guys see me again, I'll be looking like a boss queen, caught looking good all the time. Hey guys, I am back. Okay, I've just finished my makeup. I'm gonna move away from the light so that you can actually see it. So this is my final makeup look. It looks very simple, very chic. I didn't want to get anything too like professional, but I just also wanted it to maintain a bit of some charisma. Okay, so this is my outfit. Okay, so I've paired like a nice shirt, right? And then I've gone with a belt with some gold aesthetic here, and then my shoes are gold to match my belt, and then brown because you can never go wrong with a nude. And yeah, that is my look. But I'm excited. I'm not late, but I should be there like now. Bye. I'm so late. I don't want to lie to you. I feel so terrible. Not that late. You're supposed to get there 30 minutes before you start your shoot, and I'm literally getting there on the 13th minute. Yo, but ho, so Titlo is a Schumacher motseleng, guys. I don't want the engine is a V80. How do you most put mode Luna, why am I doubting my face beads? It's because my hair is not like combed correctly, but this is just me panicking. However, they did call me right now asking me how far I am. Must I be honest? But like when they watch this, I'll probably we'd be laughing about it. So let me be honest, I'm only in 4 ways right now, and I said I was like 10 minutes out. But I get V80, so I'm listen, but we're moving with the lane.
How do you feel about it?
How do I feel about what just happened?
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel a bit nervous. I just want to see the outcome.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I came. It like brought back some energy within me. How do you guys think I did? Let me ask you that.
No, you were actually great. You were actually really impressive. Yeah. And we're not just saying that because
I feel you guys are saying that because you know when you ask somebody for like feedback and then you do something for them or on their behalf, and then you're like, how did I do? You did great.
Yeah.
Improvement points. Go on the development point, guys. Maybe maybe this is the start of something new, ne? So they need to be honest with me and be upfront. They have to be honest.
Look, I think for the most part, given the fact that questions were coming in left, right, and center, you were very professional about it. One. Time aspect key, very very good.
Check.
Articulation as well.
Yes, very articulate. And
What's
also
your
it was just fun. It was just fun. You have a fun personality. Yeah.
What is last thing better fun? The one that matters the most. Okay.
And guys, she forced us to say these kajal.
I did. I had a gun to the head. I'm like, if you guys don't say this, but I'm going to cancel a magazine. I got two credits.
But it was really fun. It was absolutely fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward to you seeing the final cut.
Yeah.
Total.
I can repost. Can't think about when you're a big deal, people don't take you seriously. I'm on the come up. These are actually such cool people. You're probably going to see this later.
Bye.
Anga chase mo. Kiasa di outro taga. That was actually so fun. I really enjoyed myself. I have actually never thought about, there's this creative aspect in me that I am very hesitant to explore. And I've always been hesitant to explore because I've always thought, oh my goodness, I don't have a lot to contribute. But to be around other people, to be around other people that share similar beliefs and are on a mission to actually change culture or introduce different things to the culture, it's enlightening, it's encouraging, it's inspiring, because it just shows that like the word of God does not just fall on you by yourself, it also falls on other people. It might not materialize in the same manner, the fruit might be different, but it doesn't mean that the seed was not planted by God. And that is what I always struggled with when I was growing up, because I just assumed penetrating the culture looks a certain type of way. That's why I had aspirations on becoming a model or becoming a media personality or doing something along those lines, because I wanted impact. And in my mind, people that had impact are people in that light. And I'm like, yo, but Lesego presenter wena olo presenter o ring manak. But ke wila. Okay, I'm quickly at Checkers. I'm gonna quickly do my groceries and then I'm gonna head home. But thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon.